Hey, welcome to One Awesome Autistic. I'm Lee, I'm autistic and I have ADHD as well. In this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about functioning labels, so I'll explain what they are and why they are good, and in particular why functioning labels are actually quite bad, have quite a negative impact on autistic people's lives. So what do I actually mean when talking about functioning labels? Typically autistic people are divided into two groups, low functioning and high functioning, and that is all based on needs and abilities typically. Originally these labels were used during assessment phase to describe their autism as a whole. Over time these labels have been slightly corrupted. They're used by more of the general population to describe somebody, and even autistic people, just when using a quick go-to, may also use these labels to describe themselves. The label doesn't go into enough detail, as far as I'm concerned, into actually describing what that autistic person's actual abilities and needs are. And I do have to point out that high and low functioning may have been used in some countries in the past as an actual formal diagnosis, but nowadays autism is diagnosed in a more general sense of just autism spectrum disorder, and autism spectrum disorder includes various types of autism and autism-like disorders as well. Let's talk about high functioning first, because that's probably the easiest one to get through. And I've mentioned before in other videos that I've been classed as high functioning autistic by quite a lot of people around me, in particular people that actually don't know me very well. You know, they've only ever spent maybe a maximum of an hour with me. I've used that label towards myself. I've been classed as high functioning because I can do stuff like this. I can make YouTube videos and edit them, I can hold a conversation, I've had jobs, I've had relationships, I'm in a successful relationship, and I'm able to keep relationships going with a few friends and family and things like that. Therefore I'm classified as high function. And some people may think, well, why is that a problem? It's a problem because it doesn't take into account my actual needs as an autistic person. And the things that I'm not able to do and the things that I suffer with are often trivialised because of that. I have to fight to get the things that I need to help me live an independent, fully functioning life. I'm perceived as living a fully functioning, independent life, but I'm actually not, and that's not seen by people, because as soon as they give this "you are high functioning" label, then what they can't see they don't want to see. And I'm pretty sure that that situation isn't unique to me. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of other people out there who struggle with a lot of day-to-day tasks that are seen as easy and normal to do, and they're unable to do them like I am, but are not given the help they need because, well, you can do all these other things, so you should be able to do this. And that's not quite how it works. It's making having autism a very simplified, trivialized version of how complex it actually is. Being classed as high functioning often means that disability support is not readily available as easily as it would be as classified as low functioning, and this means that the person not given the help that they need struggles with day-to-day life, and then quality of life is ultimately compromised as well, and then that can lead on to other factors, mental health issues and things like that as well. At the time of filming this video, it's only been 6 months since I've been diagnosed, and this has completely been my experience, in that I'm seen and perceived to be high functioning, and therefore the things that are meant to be there to help me have been denied to me, and I'm in the process of fighting for many of them, and they've often been denied by the people that are meant to be giving me unquestioned help. For those classified with low functioning autism, typically a diagnosis of low functioning autism is classified as the person having a low intelligence. It's typically below an IQ, I believe, of about 69. They will also have profound learning difficulties, exhibit bizarre and quite repetitive behaviour, and will often have issues with anger, particularly the anger coming out as some violence, and they will also have impaired social communications. That is typically what is used to diagnose somebody with a low functioning version of being autistic. It seems to have been warped a little bit over time, and quite often a non-verbal autistic person can be seen or perceived to be low functioning, yet their intelligence can be high or can be average. They have no learning difficulties, it's just that they are non-verbal. That one aspect, people around them will label them as low functioning. They may be able to do a whole array of stuff that maybe I'm not even able to do. I wouldn't class that person as low function, but this is often a label that they get stuck with. The reason why labeling somebody as a low functioning autistic is quite bad is because then it's like the flip side of high functioning autism, is that it's not about what they're unable to do. What they're actually able to do is not seen, and often there are things that low functioning autistic people can learn but maybe denied the opportunity to learn because they're seen as, well, they'll never be able to get this, they'll never be able to know how to do this, so there is no point trying to teach them. Some low functioning autistic people may still be able to hold down a part-time job, but may not be given this opportunity because all people see is what is perceived as their disability and not what their actual abilities are. This also means that low functioning autistic people may be pushed somewhat out of society, because if you're not seen to be somebody who can contribute to society, well, then you shouldn't be in it, so then they're often quite isolated and other opportunities then are denied to them. Even somebody who is low functioning autistic that may not be able to hold down a job or a relationship doesn't mean they shouldn't be given the opportunities to hold down social relationships or to maybe volunteer at a job. And I know that the bit I've talked about to do with high and low functioning autism is on a lot more simple scale than it actually is, but to go into it in more depth is going to go down a rabbit hole of me talking for hours. I just wanted to raise some kind of awareness. The needs of each autistic person needs to be looked at in more detail, needs to be assessed. I know labels are an easy way to just simplify something in a conversation, or rather than spending hours trying to every time explain what your needs and abilities are, so sometimes they can be helpful. So in some senses it can be a little bit useful, but overall they can be quite negative. And like I said, I've already talked about it in a very simple sense, just to raise a little bit more awareness about them, to try and start that conversation of, okay, well, if we don't want to use these labels, what can we use instead? And that's not something, I haven't seen a substitute of what we can use instead yet, but it's something that I would like to explore more with other people. If anybody has any ideas of what we can replace high and low functioning labels with, then drop it in the comments below. I would love to start that conversation with somebody. And that's it from me in this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.